Hi, and welcome to Principles in Politics, where I will discuss what's happening in Idaho politics, conservatism, as well as the Idaho State Constitution and U.S. Constitution. During the legislative session, I hope to produce several shows a week through live streaming and recorded videos, keeping it short, sweet, and to the point to help keep you informed. Hi, I'm your host, Tony Ulrich. Thanks for tuning in. This is going to be short and sweet tonight. Many of you don't know, I don't watch mainstream media. I don't listen to the news. I find my information I listen to the radio and get news blips, and then I go and research things online. I haven't believed the media in many years, and the last few months can, definitely show you the reason why we shouldn't be believing mainstream media. They haven't been news in years. They've been a propaganda machine, but we all know that, and I'll leave it at that. But tonight I was having dinner with a friend, and I got to watch a little bit of news, and, some things I was hearing really disturbed me. The House, back in session, their first priority is to impeach a man that, now has 7 days left in office, and this tells you exactly how brilliant these people are. They're like, well, even if there isn't enough time, his impeachment will carry him when he's out of office. Well, no, it really won't, because if you read the Constitution, it defines that impeachment is for removing someone from office. If they're already out of office, you can't impeach them. It's, pretty plain and simple, but they're scared he's going to run again in 2024, and they can't beat him and don't believe they can cheat the system again. But that's just a little bit of what upset me. Oh, so many things actually upset me that I heard on the news tonight. I don't know where to start. The impeachment one, that just, they've got absolutely nothing better to do. Hey, you promised your voters $2,000. Why aren't you working on getting that? Pay your bribes off. That'd be a good start. One of the other things that really upset me is I heard him, again talking about how he incited the actions that happened at the Capitol. I've listened to his speech that day many, many times, and I hear nothing that could even be considered him inciting violence. He spoke openly against it. He's always spoken openly against it. I seem to recall back early last summer, right after the COVID, when BLM was rioting and Antifa was rioting in Portland and Seattle, him telling those two cities to get their shit together, or he was going to get it together for him, and the Democrats immediately said, well, you can't do that. That's horrible. State sovereignty, blah, 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 which, they're kind of right, but at the same time, they fought against him on stopping the violence, and they actually promoted it. I recall hearing Kamala Harris calling for violence, and I recall hearing, pretty much every politician out there, Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, every last one of them were prompting BLM and Antifa to continue to riot and burn cities down. They called for the death of the president. They called for the death of, his supporters. I'm not a big fan of Trump. I wasn't back in 2016. I believed he was, more of a Democrat than a Republican, and far from conservative, but the man really surprised me over 4 years. He did some great things, but he also did some things that were really unconstitutional. He allowed his agencies to reclassify things. The USMCA, another great example. Oh my God, talk about giving up sovereignty, but, he did a lot but he's still been one of the better presidents we've had in a long time. He's great for our economy. He tried to bring people together, but the Democrats fought him on every aspect of that. He just couldn't get a break. From day one, 20 minutes after he was inaugurated, the House was already speaking of impeachment and how they were going to get him out of office. It's really, really ridiculous. The one I'd really like to think about here is, though, the impeachment. If you can impeach someone after they're out of office, so why aren't they attempting to impeach Obama? He incited violence. Look at Ferguson. There's a ton of reasons they could have impeached a lot of former presidents, but, it's their party. They're not going to do that. We're in for a tough fight coming up with a Democratic-controlled House and Senate and the presidency. prepare for socialism. We as American citizens, we're not going to be able to challenge all the laws they made, and not being able to challenge them, they're going to go on the books as laws. And until they're challenged and beaten in court and proven to be unconstitutional, there's not much you can do about it. So the government's going to waste a whole bunch of our tax dollars on things they have no business, and it'll probably go on for the rest of our natural lives because they just won't get challenged. You know, government's done a really good job of making it impossible for the common man to fight government. You need lawyers, you need big bucks backing you, and you know, most attorneys aren't going to take this up because they're beholden to government. You know, their bar license and many other things, you know, require that they follow the rules, and the rules aren't always supposed to be followed. But, you know, I got friends right now that are preaching and screaming for, you know, the Second Civil War, and I just don't think people really understand that, yes, the Democrats are, you know, forcing our hand, and the hand that they're forcing is going to push us to civil war, but I'm not sure anyone understands the ramifications of that. I mean, look, even now we still have issues from the Civil War, and that was 160 years ago, roughly. You know, how long is it going to take us to get over this one, you know? And are these people actually really willing to stand up and fight? Are they going to do what it takes? And I keep hearing them go, oh, well, the military is not going to stand against us. Well, you can't be sure of that. I mean, a majority of them I would say wouldn't, but there's still... Do they believe the government's right, or do they believe the people's right? Or the people are right, you know? And the same with law enforcement. A majority of law enforcement officers are on our side, and they believe that what's going on is incorrect, but, you know, they still have a duty, they still have orders they have to follow, and, you know, it's just going to be flat ugly. And I don't want to take too long on this tonight. I needed to vent a little, and there's just so much going on. I don't know how to cover it and where to start even. I mean, just the things I saw in the news tonight, it's just unfathomable. I mean, how did we let government get so far out of control and, you know, rule over us? It's a sad, sad day. That's all I can say. If you like the show, remember to hit that like and subscribe button so you can be informed of new content as I produce it.